What is going on, everyone? It's Inuyasherz here. What we're going to be going over today is how to hire some workers. Now, this guide is mainly going to be targeted towards newer players who are looking into the worker system. However, I will be going over some things that will help you out much later on as well. With that being said, let's hop right into it. The first thing we're going to go over is why are we looking into this? The reason why we want to hire workers is you can invest in nodes on the map and invest in worker nodes on the map. And you can then hire workers to come work these nodes for you. This is going to give your account a nice passive income, and it's overall going to help you out in the long run. The first thing I'm going to go over, in each of the towns you start off with one slot for a free worker. This means you do not have to invest in housing in order for the worker to be hired. If you want to be a Pearl Shop user, you can hire up to 3 worker slots in all the cities that you can hire for free without having to invest in lodging. This is going to mean each town can hire 4 people, but again, this is going to be using your real life money. Now, I'm not telling you to go and pull out your credit card or anything. I'm just trying to cover over all the basics, all the steps, and make you aware of everything in case that is an option for you. So now let's go over why that would be a big deal. So as you're doing quests and some other things in the game, you can earn something called contribution points. Contribution points are points you get that you can invest into things and rent out. You're using contribution points whenever you rent nodes or invest into nodes. You're using them when you're investing into housings in the cities. But don't fret, you're not wasting them or throwing them away, as you can always get your CP back. Now let's go over how you get space to hire workers in the game. Keep in mind, in each city you got that one free worker, or 4 if you're using cash shop items. What we're looking to do is invest into lodging, and you need lodging to hire workers. This is how you get your space in your towns to place workers. So what you need to do is click on a town that you want your workers in, and up here in the top right there's a drop down tab. You can click on this and scroll down to whatever it is in that town you're looking for. In this case, we're looking for lodging. So I'll click on lodging, and now there's an arrow above all the houses that offer lodging in this town. You can rent into any of these houses with your CP and invest into them. So we'll click on one, and as you can see, I'm already invested in this one with lodging, so I can hire another worker. Okay, so now we have our lodging. What is going to be our next step? Well, we have to go find a worker supervisor in the town so we can hire workers. If you don't know where that is, you can use this handy dandy NPC search button up here. Click on that, and in this menu you can find worker. Just right click on that and it will auto path you to the worker supervisor. You can use this tool up here to find whatever it is you need. So before we hire a worker, let's go over the pros and cons of each type of worker. First up, we have goblins. Goblins are the fastest workers in the game. They also move the fastest, so they get to the node they're working faster than the other races. They have the lowest amount of luck, and they also have the lowest amount of stamina. Goblins excel at working nodes where you want to gather the raw materials as fast as possible. Due to their high work speed, you're going to have to regen the goblins much more often and frequently than you would humans or giants. So if you have long periods of time where you're AFK from the game and you can't tend to it as frequently as some other players, goblins might not be the best for your life scenario. However, if you're someone who can check in very frequently to the game, goblins are going to work so fast they're going to bring in tons of materials for you. So always keep that in mind. Some nodes have byproducts or secondary products that are the entire point of investing in the node. For this type of resource, you want something with high luck. Goblins having the lowest luck means they're not the type of worker you want for that type of task, but instead you want a human, which brings me on to the humans. Humans are kind of the middle ground. They're not slow like a giant is, but they're not fast like a goblin is. They're sort of in between. They also have more stamina, so you don't have to regen them as much. So if you can't tend to the game for, say, something like 8 to 10 hours, humans might be the way for you to go. A main perk of having humans, they have crazy high luck. So if the node you're working is straight up for the secondary or the byproduct, you want a human on that node, period. And this brings me to the last and certainly the least, a giant. And yes, I said that right. It is very hard to justify using giants as their work speed, movement speed, and luck are so low that they're way outperformed by the other two races. However, I can come up with a couple scenarios where you would want a giant. Now, all of us work different jobs, we have different lives, we have different things going on with our lives. Some of us can rarely check into the game. We might be away for 24 plus hours, you might not be able to check in often at all. If this is the case, the goblin and the human will stop working long before the giant and you would be wasting time. If you can't tend to the game very often, a giant worker might be what you need to do. The other scenario where you might want to use giants is if you're extremely lazy and you don't really care in the first place, which will make me wonder why you're even watching this video, but if that's the case, you might want to do giants as well, just because you know you won't recover the goblin or the human. So now we know how to get space to hire a worker, and we should know what type of worker we want to hire for the node we're going to be putting them on. So now we're ready to talk to the work supervisor. We're going to hit down here on contract workers. It's going to cost you 5 energy for each worker you intend to hire. So when we spend our energy, we're going to start rolling random workers. If we do not get the worker we want, we click down here on view another. What I usually suggest for newer players to start off is use your alt's energy trying to roll workers. What you're looking for would be at least blue or better workers. They're going to be named skilled. I would not suggest hiring giants, but you would be looking for the appropriate worker race depending on the node you're working. So you would be looking for goblins or humans. This is a good reason to have all your alts and all your character slots created. That way you can roll workers using their energy on each of your alts. You can keep searching until you find the worker you want to hire. Once you found them, just click on hire worker and hit enter, and now you have another worker in your town. So if you didn't know, now you know how to hire workers. I hope this guide has helped you out in some way, shape, or form. If you ever have any questions or anything you need to ask me, you can hit me up over at Twitch, or you can join my Discord. I greatly enjoy helping people out, so if you have any questions about anything on the game, if I have the answer, I would be more than happy to help you out. You all take care and have a wonderful day.